Hey, here's video number 2 with the band workout stuff. This video is going to have 4 movements for you to do. I want you to do all 4 movements 3 times through, so we're going to do 3 sets of 10 on most of these movements. The first movement we're going to do is called a banded deadlift. Typically when a deadlift is done, you'll have a dumbbell or you will have a barbell, and you are simply picking the barbell up, squeezing at the top, and then putting it right back down. We're going to modify this and do it with a band today, so the resistance is going to be a little bit different. So as you get a little bit stronger and you do this more, you can go with a thicker band, but today I want you to go with that thin band that you have. I don't know if yours is red or green. You're going to start with putting one foot inside the band and then the other. You want to make sure that your feet are lined up with your hips. You don't want to be too wide and you don't want to be too narrow. You want to have a good stance with your feet right stacked underneath your hips. You are going to hold the top of the band and you're going to try to grab as much resistance as you can. So that just means bringing your hands a little bit closer to your feet and having a little loosey-goosey band right here. And we're going to go through that same movement as if we do have a barbell in our hands or dumbbells, but we're going to initiate this movement with sending our hips back, and then we're going to have a soft bend in the knee and then come down. It's going to get easier, right, because we're losing resistance. And then once we hit this spot where our hands are right about at our shins, then I want you to squeeze your butt and bring yourself right back up and squeeze extra tight at the top. So this is what it's going to look like from the side. Again, feet are stacked right underneath my hips. You can see this visual. I'm going to initiate with my hips. So I'm starting with pushing my hips back. Think about closing the car door when your hands are full of groceries. So send those hips back. You are coming down, a slight bend in the knee. I'm going to stop when my hands are about at my shins. There's no resistance on the band right now, it's super loosey-goosey. And then I'm going to squeeze my butt and bringing my hips forward, and I'm going to squeeze really hard at the top. So I'm going to have you do that movement 10 times, and I'll do it with you. When you squeeze at the top, I want you to think about trying to have all little butt dimples that you can manage. We're going to squeeze really hard. This is all about glute and hamstring activation. I'll kind of do it from the side so you can see. Right, so let's do 10 of them. Feet stacked underneath the hips. I've got as much resistance on the band as I can get. And then I'm going to initiate with the hip, and we're going to do this 10 times. So back, slight bend, come down, hands are at my shins, and up, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. 1. Okay, back, down, squeeze, 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 squeeze. 2. Go. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. 3. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Okay, so we're going to leave our feet in the band. Give you a second to shake it out. This next movement we're going to do is called side steps. So again, we want to have a lot of resistance on the band. The more resistance we have, the better. This feels easy. You can use a thicker band, but this is going to be called side steps, and I'm just going to move over here to get this started. But the movement is exactly what it sounds like. I'm going to, again, start with my feet hip width apart, and I'm just going to take a little step to the side, and then bring this foot in. Step to the side, bring this foot in. Side, in, side, in. I'm not doing ginormous steps, just doing steps so I keep this hip activated and bring this foot right back to that starting position with both feet are underneath the hips. Okay, I want you to do that back and forth. If you can get 5 steps on each leg, 5, 10, 15, 20, that'll be perfect. So I'm gonna do the left side with you on video and I'll have you do the others. Just put this on pause and do the others on your own. So it's step, 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 step. Be slow and in control. Step, step, step. Okay. And then you can put it on pause, but I want you to go through that and get 5 on each side. Do that back and forth until you get to 20 of them, where you've done 10 on each side. Those are our side steps. The third movement that we're going to do is we're going to get on the ground, kind of get rid of this for a minute, and we're going to do some leg lifts, but they are going to be not straight legs. Normally we hear leg lifts and we think straight leg, but we're going to keep this activation going. This is going to work your hips and your glutes back here on this side. So I'm going to have you lay on your side and hold your head with your hands. We're going to be not necessarily in a fetal position, but kind of close to it with your knees bent. And we're going to take this top leg and we're going to lift it parallel. We're not trying to do this. We're not trying to go over here and rock our hips. We want to keep our hips parallel to the ground, but just lift just a little bit. So you feel it back here and then bring it down. You're going to do this 10 times. Okay. Notice how my feet are staying stacked. So I'll do this with you. This is 1, 2, think about keeping your core tight. 3, 4, you're feeling it right about here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. After that 5th one, we're gonna flip and we'll do it on the other side. Again, support your head with your hand that's on the ground. You're gonna come to that bent position, not quite fetal. We're not gonna be up here, we're gonna be back here just a little bit. Take this knee, drive it up. It's 1, 2, keep that shape in your leg. 3, up here is where I start to feel it. 4, 5, 6, 7, don't forget to keep your core tight. 8, 9, 10. Great. That was our 3rd movement. Our 4th movement is going to be a glute bridge. You can use a band if you'd like for this movement. It's not necessary. We will do, if you use a band, you can just kind of loop it around to make it a little bit smaller and put it around your knees. And we are going to lie back on your back. And the glute bridge is just kind of like it sounds. We're going to make a bridge. So you're going to have that resistance. That's what the band is for, just some resistance on the legs. You should feel that right about in here. What I want you to do is bring your hips, squeeze your butt, bring it up. You're going to hold it for 2 seconds. And then you're going to bring it back down to the ground, but just tap. I don't want you to like leave your full weight on the ground. It's just like tap, right back up, hold for 2 seconds, tap, right back up, hold for 2 seconds. I like to see you work up to doing 20 of these, but for this first video, just do 10 because you're going to do this 3 more times. So it's going to look like this. I'm going to bring my hips back up, squeeze, 1, 2, Down, tap, back up. 1, 2. Down, tap, back up. 1, 2. Down, tap, back up. That's 3, I think. Back up. 1, 2. That's 4. Back up. There's 5. Back up. I'm digging through my heels to make sure that I'm activating everything down here. I think we're at 6. There's 7. Tap back up. There's 8. There's 9. There's 10. Okay, so again, I want you to go through that, do those banded deadlifts. 3 sets of 10. You're gonna do those side lunges. It's a total of 20, like 10 on each side. Break it up however you can with how much room you have in the house. Then do those leg lifts, 10 on each side, and then you're gonna do those glute bridges with the band if you want. If not, you can drop the band. But I'd like to see you do 10 of them. Make sure you hold for a count of 2 at the top. Squeeze really hard. Bring your butt back down, quick tap, and right back up. Do that 10 times. Again, go through all 4 of those movements in that order 3 times.